So, as I got out of that conversation the other day, one of my first 10x engine specific conversations, I was feeling inspired. There were a lot of ideas floating around in my head based on all these ideas around content generation, content repurposing, the common mistakes I see people making all the time. And so I thought, let me just sit down and document my thoughts as they're running through my head in real time. I had some wording I really liked. I had some phrases I really liked. I just wanted to get those down as quickly as possible while the mood was striking me, while the iron was hot, that kind of thing. And so I just sat down and it just poured out of me all these quotes, all these little statements, kind of punchy, kind of short, kind of irreverent, because I see so many people making the same mistakes again and again and again. And I honestly see a lot of terrible advice out there around content creation, like you should only release one episode a week. Anything else is too much. If you don't have the right mic or the right lighting, hold off, wait till later because you don't want to form a bad impression. Common myths, common misconceptions that I just do not agree with. And I see these mistakes holding people back. And so I wanted to get those down. So I just sat down and wrote a bunch of them. And when I thought about lacking a format with which to write them, lacking the right structure, I thought, hey, let me use some templates that I see other people using, like 3 unwritten rules of X or common beliefs about X that I disagree with. I've seen other people use these kind of structures in completely different contexts, just general thought leadership type things, the things you might see in a quote tweet image. I thought, hey, let me borrow that structure and then insert my thoughts into that structure. That was the easiest way for me to get started with this. So here's what I did. In the past, I might have used a big Google Doc, or just even an email draft. But I've since learned over time, thanks to my operations manager and others, that it's better to put things in a spreadsheet sometimes, because then you can more clearly segment and reuse the content. So I opened up a totally new spreadsheet. I created 2 separate columns. One column is an internal title for that piece of content. The second column was the quote or the sentences themselves. I composed these in roughly 280 characters or less because these are going to be my quote tweet images. But if they were longer, that would have been fine too. I could have had somebody else edit it after the fact, which is probably what I should do. I should just write, let it pour out of me, let somebody else edit, and then get it under the 280 characters, maybe clean up the phrasing a little bit. If they think they have something better, that's totally fine. I'm the person who should simply be providing the ideas and the content. I could leave it somebody else to edit, but I don't have that part of my team figured out yet. So for now, I'm still doing it myself. But over time, if I really want to create more volume around this kind of content, I'm going to need somebody else to do it. Ideally, my plan will be that they go through my videos, they look at the transcripts, and they compose new quote tweet images based on the ideas contained within the transcripts. But transcription is an element that I'm currently lacking in all of my business operations. I've had people write articles and emails and such, and I have a book draft, but I haven't had anybody working on this kind of task with the right skill set for this job. So for now, I just did it myself. I sat down for a couple hours and just banged out a bunch of these. I've got a couple dozen at this point because I just wanted to have them ready to release. And I finally did. In fact, I started releasing new content on the 10XEngine Instagram, as well as the 10XEngine Twitter. I don't have the other social channels going yet fully, but I do also have Pinterest. I do also have Tumblr. And before long, I'm going to be adding in Facebook and LinkedIn. And then I'll get some others in the mix too. But for now, that's what I needed. I've got roughly, let me think, maybe 25, 30 quote images like this, which is enough. Even just releasing one of those a day, I'll be good for a while. And then that gives me roughly a month to start getting more into the mix. So that's the update for today. Any comments, any questions, reach out.